Hello, welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz. I will be guiding you on this journey today. This is the reading for the 1-3 human design profile. If you don't know what your human design profile is, there's a link in the description below for you to get your human design body graph. And among the plethora of information specifically about your design, one of those bits will be your profile. I'm also doing zodiac sign readings, so definitely be sure to check out your sun, your rising, wherever you have major placements. And let's get you an oracle card. That's too many. And then, of course, we'll get your tarot. And we'll go from there. I feel like the way, or like the structure that I do these readings is going to change. I have no clue how. And I was actually going to pull like 3 oracle cards and then pull some tarot for each oracle card and do that as the reading. But as soon as I kind of started doing that, it just didn't feel right. So I don't think that's it. I don't think that's the answer. Anyway, courage. I don't know why I looked at the bottom of the deck, but integrity is down there. Maybe that has some significance. Like, just even, like integrity takes courage sometimes, like depending on the situation, peer pressure, something like that. We have the Strength card. We have the 3 of Cups. We have the Hanged Man. We have the Death card under Strength. We have the Knight of Wands and the 8 of Pentacles. We have the 9 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Let's see what this Courage card is talking about. When our heart truly wants something, fear often accompanies our desire. We might doubt our self-worth or abilities, flickering through a million what-if scenarios. We may fear success itself. This is totally normal. The goal isn't to get rid of fear, but to have the courage to say yes in spite of it. As we do this, more and more, we begin to believe in our abilities. Fear's presence often means we're going in the right direction, that there is something we truly want. Be courageous and follow the fear. Say yes to your adventure. All too often, it is audacity and not talent that moves an artist to center stage. As you move toward a dream, the dream moves towards you. Julia Cameron. I love that. I'm trying to remember, did the Death card come out in your last reading? Not that that matters, but like if it did, I want to say that it did, but if it did, it's still like moving through that process, especially since we start with the Strength card. This is a card of Leo, fire. Strength talks about determination, perseverance. It's that inner strength. It's not, like muscular. Even though this elephant, it looks like they are pulling some string here. It could even be throwing your weight around in some capacity. Like if you are trying to will something to happen, like using willpower, is how this almost feels too. It's interesting because it's also like I get this feeling about tension because, if this rope or string, whatever, is wrapped around this elephant, it's like are they trying to break free, or are they trying to drag something with them? Which also, even the whole willpower thing, like, are you trying to insert your will, or are you trying to will things to happen around you, or get somebody like on board with you type of thing? Which is interesting because it is paired with the Death card. This is Scorpio. It's like literally like it's like carrying dead weight, especially like with this Strength card. Like, if you're the one that is trying to impart your will on something, and if it is just, I mean, literally dead weight, right? Because it's like maybe it's something you don't want to let go of. Maybe it is something that you are holding on to very tightly. And of course, I mean, that could be a person, it could be a job, it could be, a behavior pattern, a thought pattern, an identity, even a fear story, like with the Courage card coming out there and talking about fear. It could be that, However, like I said, I do think that the Death card came out in your last reading. And it's almost like, with it being paired with the Strength card in this reading, it's like, it's really telling you to hang in there, to hold on, to persevere, to have a determination, find the strength within yourself. Even if it's finding the strength to release the will. Like, it's almost like trying to will somebody else, something else against their will. It doesn't work. I mean, it might work for a short period of time, but it doesn't really work long distance. That's not what I meant to say. It doesn't really work long term. Long distance is interesting. However, like with the Death card, anytime the Death card comes out, I always say, every new beginning disguises itself as an end. Because, I mean, we can even see, this blimp of sunlight. That's what it looks like to me anyway. And death has more to do with rebirth and transformation. However, that is only possible if something ends. So again, it could be a thought process. It could even literally be holding on to something. It is paired with the Strength card. So like I said, it could just be, a message about, persevering, determination. Like, if you are still moving through whatever this death process is for you, like whatever it is that you are releasing, whatever it is that you are recognizing is no longer working and ending the thing, whatever, however that shows up for you in your life, it could be saying, to stick with it. However, on the other side of things, it could be saying, cut this string here. Because truly, whatever this string is, it really is slowing you down. It's holding you back. It's literally exhausting to have to drag dead weight with you, whether that's a person. I keep repeating myself because, whatever. It could be a job. It could be, a platonic relationship, like friends. It could just be, again, a behavior pattern, thought pattern, something. Okay. And again, right, having courage to do that, because on the other side, it's like, what would I be without that thing, whatever it is? What would I be without dragging this dead weight with me? Like, what would it look like to allow myself to move at my own pace, or whatever pace is true for me on my path, on my journey. Even, you know, I think the card even mentioned like a fear of success. Like, you know, what would it look like if I allowed myself to go after the thing full throttle, however I see myself going after the thing, right? And then we have the Three of Cups. Those have to do with emotions, heart center, love, support on the emotional side of things. The Three of Cups is support from others. It's networking and friendships and community. These elephants even like look dirty, don't they? Oops. I like turned the page to, I thought was a Three of Cups, and like the first thing I read was self-pity. I'm like, that's not the Three of Cups, but maybe that's something that's going on. That was actually the Five of Cups though. So the Three of Cups, it says synchronicity, family, shared feelings, community. A safe home and a moment of synchronicity brings a little elephant to life. As he emerges from the crystal clear waterfalls, he follows in the footsteps of his mother. In this space, a little elephant and his parents live in harmony with one another, needing no other than their bowls and what surrounds them. It's interesting because, again, right, I mean, depending on how those first two cards show up in your life, whatever is happening in that death card for you, when you make that decision, when you make that commitment, when you recognize that, you know, the energy of whatever that thing is has been fulfilled, it's run out, it's no longer there, right? Then this Three of Cups shows up. And it is, you know, community. It is emotional support from your friends. Because it said, you know, this little elephant emerges from this waterfall, which is also so interesting because we have the Hanged Man. There's this waterfall. And the Eight of Pentacles, there's all these waterfalls. And then in the Nine of Cups, we have this like beautiful valley that river is like running through. So it's something opens up. It's like the energy is available to come to you. Maybe it's like making the right connections. Maybe it's leaning on your friends or your community or your network for some level of support. Maybe it's even recognizing that was always available to you, but you were kind of stuck in this trying to pull whatever is attached to this string along. I mean, that could just even be baggage from your past. Like that could be, you know, childhood trauma, childhood stuff, conditioning. You know, I mean, the big thing about human design, one of the most important things of human design outside of following your strategy and authority is deconditioning, because nobody is exempt from some level of conditioning, whether it's cultural, societal, you know, even gender, you know, age, whatever, right? Like all the things. We're all conditioned in one capacity or another. So it's interesting. And even like the Knight of Wands is next. So it's again, there's this freeing up of energy to go for the things that light you up. Wands are fire. It's taking action towards a thing, the motivation behind those actions that you take, creativity, passion. How are you communicating those things? What actions are you taking towards those things? I also see wands as being information by way of experience, because that's what we get by trying things, right? We figure out what works, what doesn't work, what do we like, what don't we like. Now, it's interesting because the Knight of Wands can be a bit like impulsive or sporadic. I mean, they're not even necessarily drawing anything. They probably just have this wand against the wall and they're just rocking back and forth, and that's what's creating these lines on the wall. And it's also like I get this feeling of like, have you ever seen that meme where it was like a graph and I can't remember, there's one, like a graph that looks like this, I guess. I don't know. And there's just this like squiggly line going up through it. And it was like, healing isn't linear. What's a lineal? I don't even know. But it's not a straight line. Okay. It really does look like this, right? Like the healing journey. But yeah, the Knight of Wands, it's like you kind of do have to motivate the Nine of Wands, the Knight of Wands. All of a sudden, I cannot talk all of a sudden. It says passionate, high energy, focused direction, fearless. A child straddles a rocking horse with a wand in one hand and a strange helmet covering their eyes. They expel magic in a passionate but chaotic outburst. Trendles of magic flow around the child that require focused attention to materialize into goodness. Yeah, like even that, the helmet is covering their eyes. So again, even just this like impulsive kind of, literally like throwing noodles on a wall and like seeing if they stick. It's like, it's trying things. It could even be, since it's paired with the Three of Cups, it could be just, meeting new people that do spark this, this aspect within you. Even I was talking about inner child stuff too. And we have this kid on this rocking horse. So again, even unpacking that, and maybe it's even, again, this emotional support type of thing in order to do that. And then we have the Hanged Man, which is delay, suspension, seeing things from a different perspective. It looks like they let go of this bag, which again, baggage. We've been talking about baggage in some capacity here, whether it's carrying dead weight, and whether that dead weight is an actual person who is just, maybe their values aren't matching up with yours. Maybe they don't have the same goal as you do anymore. Or maybe it's just, something that even, communicating, see if you can get back on the same page, but also recognizing that there is this change or this shift that needs to happen with the Death card. But, right, because like this baggage here, because what is the option here? They go after it. They like, release their foot from the tree and just fall with the bag down that waterfall. It says surrendering control, which, what did I say? What were we talking about? Like in the beginning, control, will, pause, going with the flow, reevaluating the path. Barely holding on to the branch of a tree, the Fool manages to temporarily evade the deadly falls. The Hanged Man, a card of dramatic pause, signals that it is time to surrender control. The Fool has exhausted their journey and now must give into the fates of the universe. Yep. Because again, like we were talking about back with when I was talking about control and will, and sure, that might work for the short term, but the long term, long distance, like I said, it just won't. And it's like, a muscle, right? And if you are like gripping onto something constantly in order to hold on to it, to keep it, whatever, eventually your muscles will tire and you have no other choice but to let it go. And it kind of seems like that's what's happening here in some capacity. And it's like, I was going to start talking about fear with the Courage card being here. It's like we're so afraid that if we release control of that thing, that it's going to no longer exist in our lives. And if that is the case, then it's not fucking supposed to be in your life in the first place, or at least any longer. And I think I mentioned at some point about, once that energy is freed up, right? I mean, once your muscle, your metaphorical, hypothetical, whatever, muscle has a chance to like relax and recover, then it's like, the stuff that is meant for you has the opportunity to come in. And, it's like this new kind of magic, having this new kind of lease on life type of thing, being able to create something completely different that is more in alignment with you. I love that. We have the Eight of Pentacles, and the keywords for it are learning environment, developing skills, attaining goals, sense of fulfillment. Over time, the stones grow into large bodies of land. This land begins to develop life of its own. Waterfalls cascade down lush forests and feed the sea. The sea reaches a new sense of fulfillment. Exactly. The Eight of Pentacles. Pentacles have to do with our money, how we get it, how we save it, how we spend it. It's our physical time. Where are we showing up in our lives? Where are we physically present? What are we putting our energy into? Investing our time, our energy, right? It's also our health. Anything that we place value and worth on, that's Pentacles. Anything tangible that you can touch, your possessions. And the Eight of Pentacles is mastering a skill. It's, focusing your time, your resources, your attention on a thing in order to master it. It's recognizing that practice makes perfect, right? And it's recognizing that you do need to focus your energy, focus your attention, even with it being after, like right next to the Knight of Wands that was talking about focused attention or focused action. It's almost like focusing on yourself, working on yourself. And like I said, we have the Nine of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So it's even interesting because we have all these stones in here. The Eight of Pentacles was just talking about all those stones creating islands, basically, right? So now we have this elephant that we started with in the Strength card, no longer attached to anything, right? I was trying to see like if these other white speckles are also elephants, but I can't really tell if that's what they're supposed to be. The Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment. You feeling like you are getting what you wanted. Your desires are being met. You feel fulfilled. You feel purposeful. You're happy in the land that you created. Gratitude, fulfillment, satisfaction, awe. The little elephant works up the courage. The little elephant works up the courage to finish his journey. He enters a dark cave and walks for hours, unsure if he will ever see the light of day again. Then, rounding the final corner, the elephant sees light. Bursting out of the cave, the little elephant is greeted by paradise. In the valley below, he notices other elephants, and for the first time in a long time, he realizes he's not alone. Oh my God, that is fucking beautiful. Because even there's Three of Cups, there's two elephants on this card, and this card does talk about community, friendships, networking, and this is, finding their people, Again, even just, people that have the same goals, the same aspirations, the same, they're doing the level of emotional work even that you're doing. And it's, they can help you as much as you can help them. It's finding the right people to work with, or the right people or person to connect with. Man, this was amazing. Thank you for allowing me to come on this journey with you. I will talk to you soon. Bye.